Trump warns Iran ahead of talks, says its leaders should be very worried. Melinda Gates says Epstein files reopened, painful times. From marriage to Bill Gates. U.S. academic John Mearsheimer fights to purge his AI deepfakes. U.S. shoots down Iranian drone near aircraft carrier, official says. Iran reports successful drone mission amid allegations of U.S. interference. In a sharp warning, U.S. President Donald Trump said Iran's leadership should be very worried as American military forces continue to build up in the region, raising concerns that fragile diplomacy between Washington and Tehran could be faltering. Speaking to NBC News, Trump confirmed negotiations are underway but signaled growing pressure on Iran to reach a deal. Meanwhile, Secretary of State Marco Rubio said the United States remains open to talks, though uncertainty surrounds both the location and the agenda. Washington believed a meeting was set for Friday in Turkey, but Iran has reportedly asked to move it to Oman and restrict discussions to its nuclear program. The U.S., however, insists that any meaningful agreement must also address Iran's ballistic missile activity, support for regional militant groups, and human rights concerns. Melinda French Gates says seeing her former husband Bill Gates named in newly released Jeffrey Epstein records has reopened painful memories from their marriage. Speaking on NPR, the philanthropist described feeling unbelievable sadness over the allegations and stressed that anyone mentioned in the files must answer the questions raised, including Gates himself. The comments follow the U.S. Justice Department's release of millions of Epstein-related documents. Among them is a claim by Epstein that Gates contracted a sexually transmitted disease, an allegation Gates has firmly denied. His spokesperson called the claims absurd and completely false, noting that Gates has not been accused of wrongdoing by Epstein's victims. French Gates, who divorced the Microsoft co-founder in 2021 after 27 years of marriage, said she is relieved to be away from all the muck, but admitted the renewed attention is personally difficult. Reports had previously suggested she was uncomfortable with Gates' past association with Epstein. Gates has maintained their interactions were limited to a few dinners tied to a philanthropic proposal that never moved forward. John Mearsheimer is battling a surge of deepfake videos spreading across YouTube, highlighting the growing threat of AI-driven impersonation. The international relations scholar spent months urging the platform to remove hundreds of fake clips that used his likeness, some portraying him making controversial statements about global tensions. His team identified 43 YouTube channels posting fabricated content. One video falsely showed him discussing Japan's relations with China, while another, featuring a Mandarin voiceover, claimed U.S. influence in Asia was weakening. Mearsheimer called the situation terribly disturbing, warning that such videos erode trust and damage open public discourse. The fight proved difficult. His office had to file individual takedown requests, because channels could only be reported if his name or image appeared in visible account details. Meanwhile, new channels kept appearing, sometimes using altered spellings like John Mearsheimer to dodge detection. The United States military has shot down an Iranian drone after it aggressively approached the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln in the Arabian Sea. Officials say the drone was flying toward the carrier with unclear intent when an F-35 fighter jet destroyed it, in what the military described as an act of self-defense. No American personnel were injured and no equipment was damaged. The incident comes at a sensitive moment, as Washington and Tehran attempt to restart nuclear negotiations. President Donald Trump warned that bad things could happen if a deal is not reached, while U.S. warships continue moving closer to Iran. Oil prices briefly climbed, following news of the confrontation. Iran has not directly commented, though state-linked media reported that contact was lost with a drone operating in international waters. Iran says one of its military surveillance drones successfully completed a reconnaissance mission in international waters, despite reports that U.S. forces had targeted the aircraft. According to Iranian media, the drone, identified as a SHAHED-129, was conducting what officials described as a routine and lawful monitoring operation, tracking military activity near Iran and transmitting real-time data back to command centers. An informed source stated the drone sent its surveillance footage successfully before communication was suddenly lost. Authorities say the cause of the disconnection is now under investigation. The statement follows a U.S. Central Command claim that American forces fired on an Iranian drone near the aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln, calling the move an act of self-defense with no intention of escalating tensions. The incident comes amid a growing U.S. military buildup in the region and repeated warnings from President Donald Trump about possible action against Iran.